Hi, my name is ColdBeer, and let's start with Sons of the Forest. So here alongside the sandbox part, where you cut the trees, build cute houses, lay traps and free roam this beautiful world, there is this cannibal part of the game. You have to defend yourself against a clan of genetic mutant enemies that have beliefs, families, morals, and appear almost human, except that they want to kill and eat you. Well, come on, let's admit, you are looking like a snack, you gorgeous. So here you are sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island, and you find yourself, as I mentioned before, in a cannibal-infested hellscape. Craft, build, and struggle to survive, alone or with friends. Also, as you probably know, you can have a mutant waifu here, with more legs and more hands than you are used to, so I guess with more than one butt crack as well, and interesting. Anyway, the game has a very positive review score left by hundreds of thousands of people, and the price is really nice. I imagine that they could just make the base price of it 60 euros and ride the wave of popularity, but the price of the game is just half of that, and with a discount, even less. Hard West 2. You are a notorious outlaw with a dangerous reputation. On the hunt for a big score, you hear talk that a ghost train filled with federal gold is heading your way. So you swiftly assemble some cool people with cool guns and a few of them with even cooler supernatural powers. Sounds cool, huh? Well, the train is called Ghost Train for a reason. No spoilers though. It is a non-linear turn-based strategy game that is filled with puzzles to the brim. Instead of a traditional level-up system, the game relies on acquiring equipment and cards. So you build a poker hand to power up your team members. Hard West 2 has several difficulty levels, up to 6 team members and many other cool features, but voice acting isn't too great. Also, the game isn't optimized very well, so the game score on Steam always fluctuates between mostly and very positive. Dystopika. A massive treat for every Blade Runner fan, although they don't even mention the movies in the description because of obvious copyright issues. Despite that, the game lets you build futuristic cities very similar to those we saw in the movies. Here you will place buildings, giant billboards and massive holograms. You won't find any goals, there are no objectives, no wins or losses. The game wants you to relax and embrace your creative cyberpunk mood. People on Steam are very happy with this game. They not only awarded this gem with an overwhelmingly positive reviews, but they are saying that this is a game you just can't stop playing. One more building, one more tweak, one more hologram, and one more once again, just to make your amazing city a bit better. And yeah, why not make a masterpiece, then take a screenshot, print it, frame it and hang it on your wall. That would be a perfect modern piece of art that no one else has. Forgive Me Father 2. This is not just a boomer shooter, this is a Lovecraftian boomer shooter. After the financial success of the first part, which was absolutely amazing, they made another, probably even better game. Here you'll journey once again into a malevolent world inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's legends, where madness awaits on every corner. You will embark on a dangerous mission as you continue the story of the character from the first game. Although you don't have to play the first part to enjoy the second. It's a shooter, not a visual novel, it's an absolutely standalone title. The game is very beautiful, retro-modernistic, with dark, comic-like art and gloomy, menacing atmosphere. And oh, monsters you kill often turn into a bloody mist of organs and bones, and that is a very satisfying thing to experience. Ruiner. This is a brutal action shooter set in the year of 2091 in the dark and gloomy cyber metropolis. You will play as a wild psychopath and go bananas against a corrupt system to uncover the truth and retrieve your kidnapped brother. Here you will be able to combine cybernetic reflexes, augmented tools and the arsenal of fallen foes to tear down and dismantle evil corporations, or be dismantled by them, 50-50. Game features lightning-fast combat that requires a delicate balance of overwhelming brute force and elegant strikes to overcome all manner of savage opponents. You can blast through crowds or slow down time and calmly select your points of attack before unleashing a storm of violence. People are saying that the game is naturally easy to control and is one of the best examples of the cyberpunk genre. Achilles, Legends Untold. Here you will take control of a man with a really weak heal but with very strong everything else. The journey will take you to many different corners of mythological lands, where you will obtain powerful artifacts that will aid you in your quest. The game has a cool AI system that introduces innovative enemy behavior. Opponents have unscripted interactions with each other and are capable of coordinated attacks. Developers are also saying that sometimes your enemies are even taking advantage of their surroundings. Well, honestly, that should be mandatory in every modern game. If your adversary is ignoring surroundings, that is so old school. I think even pigs in Duke Nukem 3D could hide behind the walls, and the game was released in the past millennium. So Achilles Legends Untold is Souls-like, but not as hard as actual Souls games. Various Diablo-like action RPG lovers could play it as well. But of course, don't expect Diablo-like battles. Here every battle is important. Well, at least they are made this way. If you played, for example, Sands of Aura, you may realize what I have in mind. It is a mix of genres, but I think it's really worth your attention. Trailmakers. Here you will build a car, plane or boat, or mash them all together as a transforming car, plane, boat and explore the world. You can play the campaign, learn the basics of building and try piloting various vehicles. Go to one of the sandbox maps and build a mechanical potato you always dreamed of owning in real life. The game offers a variety of weapons you can use to build the biggest, baddest vehicle and utilize it against your foes or even friends in epic skirmishes. From miniguns to rocket launchers, bombs and smart guns. Your preferred choice of mayhem is waiting for you here. People are saying that the game is super fun and a bit addictive. Some of the players have hundreds of hours of playtime on record, so be aware that this game may keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Almost 90% of positive reviews left by tens of thousands of players is definitely proof that the game is done right, and I can confirm that. I played the game for several hours and I had a lot of fun, although I had to stop playing because I got the game on my PlayStation and shooting with the gamepad was a real pain for me. I died way too often for my comfort zone, you know. Anyway, now I'm thinking of getting it on PC. The price is really nice, all I need is time. So this edition sold on Steam is called Celebration Edition, and along with the base game it includes all past and future updates and many other cosmetic things you don't really care to hear about if you never play the game. So here up to 40 players fight in massive battles, pilot huge array of vehicles and can even participate in space combat. Also, one thing that is really uncommon for any game released by Electronic Arts is the ability to train offline. You can do that, and only with your new knowledge you can start, you know, dying in real-time multiplayer battles. Yeah dude, don't expect to be thrown into combat with noobs like you. Everyone will have more experience than you do, but you have to collect your strength and show them who's the boss.
Probably not you.
This is the full remake of the famous original System Shock from 1994, combining the old gameplay with all new HD visuals, updated controls, overhauled interface and all new sounds and music. It even has the original voice actor of Shodan, the psychotic AI who has taken control of the Citadel station and turned the crew into an army of cyborgs and mutants. She now plans to do the same to Earth, so you must explore and battle your way through the depths of a space station gone to hell, stop AI and avert humanity's destruction. The best thing for me, a man who never played the original System Shock of 1994, was a shocking experience, pun intended, when I realized that this is not a linear shooter. You can actually decide where to go first, what areas to explore, and you will also have to make a mental map of the space station in your head, because it is huge and it's easy to get lost. Tunguska, the Visitation. This is an isometric survival game that brings you to the dangerous Tunguska exclusion zone, where you will face deadly traps, infectious mutants, bandits and well-armed rogue military. The game is inspired by the same story as a Stalker, the roadside picnic written by the Strugatsky brothers. Keep in mind that they wrote the story before any serious nuclear accident ever happened, so it's not actually tied to Chernobyl or any other nuclear disaster, just a post-apocalyptic, gritty and dark Soviet Union filled with unexplainable horrors. Although you can literally describe a casual Soviet Union without any post-apocalypse with the same words. People in the comments are saying that if you like Stalker or Atom RPG games, it's a no-brainer. Also, it has very positive reviews on Steam. Just keep in mind that despite walls of text, looting and side quests, it is an actual twin-stick shooter, and at first may be difficult to control. Although from my own experience, when you get used to it, everything will be fine. Valfaris. Your metal detector should be beeping like hell right now, because Valfaris is an amazing platformer game with a true metal soul. Reviews are very positive, so no catch here, you can buy this game even without a discount and you will be satisfied with what you get. And you get metal and a game 2 in 1, you know, like shampoo and conditioner or you and your virginity. If you like Valfaris, you can check out the game named Slain as well, made by the same developers. It also has a metal soul but slightly worse review score. People on Steam are talking that Valfaris is what they expected the new modern Contra game to be. Pure sci-fi power fantasy with an incredibly good soundtrack and game atmosphere. House of the Dying Sun. This is a tactical space shooter that puts you in the cockpit of the Empire's most deadly interceptor and in command of the Harbinger fleet. You will hunt down the enemies of your dying empire and upgrade your warships with new weapons and abilities earned during your campaign of terror. Well, it seems that you are a bad guy here. Anyway, gamers are praising amazing sound design, exciting combat and great visuals. The only bad thing is that the game is super short. Still, longer than your ding-dong. Jokes aside, for you to beat it, it will take less than 4 hours. Although by reading comments on Steam I saw guys who have from 10 to 40 hours of gameplay on record, meaning that the game, at least for some of us, has great replayability. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is probably the best fantasy open-world RPG ever created, and I doubt that I could find anyone who at least never heard of it. Well, at least inside the Western influence hemisphere, it's a true legend. On Steam it has more than 600,000 reviews, and 96% of these people recommend this game for you. And I don't know who are the 4% who didn't like the game. I scrolled for like 5 minutes through hundreds of reviews and failed to find any explaining why. Although I finally found one. Dude said that he doesn't like developers anymore after the flop of Cyberpunk 2077, which is honestly a good game by now, and that's why he gave a negative review for Witcher 3. That is not serious. And my friendship with Witcher Geralt started way before any of the games were released. I read the book when I was a teenager, and after many years I even got Andrzej Sapkowski to sign it for me when he was visiting Lithuania for some book fair or something. And we also spoke for like 20 seconds as well. Never washed my mouth in years after that. Anyway, the game has an incredible story, super fun gameplay and a huge dark fantasy open world to explore. The coolest thing is, of course, your profession. You kill monsters for money, so you can just travel around the map and fulfill contracts ignoring the main story as long as you want or as long as you can get a new contract. And every single monster hunt is a handcrafted mission with different outcomes and sometimes hard moral choices. Third Witcher is probably the best game I have ever played. Blood West. This is a surprisingly original first-person stealth shooter, a mix of Western and Lovecraftian horrors. You'll become the undead gunslinger, doomed to roam the barren lands until you find the means to purge the curse and free your soul. You'll be wandering through the canyons, creepy swamps and lonely mountains. Well, only the mountains will be lonely. You won't be. Sounds of different monsters will keep you company at all times. It will take you over 20 hours on average to casually complete all 3 scenarios. People on Steam are naming this game a hidden gem, a hardcore, brutal, unholy blood diamond to be exact, although many are dissatisfied with the third act.
Not as good as those 2 before,
they say. Citizen Sleeper. This is a serious game for serious people and it has above 90% of positive reviews, meaning that this is a great game no matter how you look at it. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative RPG which takes you on Erlen's Eye, a ruined space station that is home to thousands of people trying to survive on the edges of an interstellar capitalist society. You are a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body, owned by a corporation that wants you back. So literally, someone owns your ass and the rest of you, and amongst the unfamiliar and colorful inhabitants of the Eye, you need to build friendships, earn your keep, and navigate the factions of this strange metropolis if you hope to survive. The game is text-based, with multiple endings, beautiful drawings, and sci-fi cyberpunk atmosphere. It's like a great book where you can actually tell the hero what he must do. Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a Ghost Eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. Train Valley 2. A lot of people like trains, and a lot of people like boobs. But sadly, this time it's a game about trains, not the other things, although equally fun and entertaining.
No.
Well, you're probably right. So, as you can probably guess, Train Valley 2 is a train tycoon puzzle game. EA will take your railroad company from the days of the Industrial Revolution and into the future, meeting the needs of the valley's cities and industries. Build railroads, upgrade your locomotives, and keep everything on schedule without delays or accidents. Well, we all know that you probably want to avoid some derailments. Also, people on Steam are saying that the game is quite challenging at higher levels. Honestly, that is a perspective of your IQ. Be sure you have it. Tenderfoot Tactics. You either love this art style or you hate it. I don't think there is something in between. It's not legs, you know. So here you'll explore the land in real time by just running around, and you will be fighting your enemies in traditional turn-based combat. As a powerful wizard, you will manipulate the elements to turn the battlefield to your advantage. But beware the consequences, as nature is complex and unforgiving. Open chasms, raise mountains, boil lakes, drain rivers, and start fires you later regret. The world here is open and vast. You will unearth ancient ruins, discover strange artifacts, and meet new friends, imaginary, like in real life. Also explore the reaches of the archipelago by boat, or take to the skies as a bird to survey the landscape and plan the best route forward. The game has amazing vibes, awesome soundtrack, and each class is so unique that not one other is too similar in any way. This is a true work of art and maybe the game you were looking for. Observer. System Redux. This is a cyberpunk horror game where you will discover a dark world beset by plagues and war. You will take on the role of the new frontline of neural police as you hack into the jagged minds of the insane. So as you hack into the unstable minds of criminals and victims to look for clues, you will relive their darkest fears, forcing you to question your own reality and your own sanity. You know, maybe you are the one who's actually insane. All in all, this is a dark, psychological horror detective game, so be sure you have the mental balls to play it. The game is not for everyone, but if you like creepy sci-fi stories, it's definitely your spoon of potato salad. People on Steam are saying that the game is kinda scary, but really nicely welded together and is an absolutely unique experience. The Medium. Concept is simple. Here you exist in the physical world and in the spirit plane, and you have to interact in both of those. You will have to use your psychic abilities to solve puzzles spanning both worlds, uncover deeply disturbing secrets, and survive encounters with a Noire, a monster born from an unspeakable tragedy. Sounds grim and a bit scary. Also, the whole concept reminds me of a Silent Hill, although in there you weren't in control of world switching. In a matter of fact, no sane person would ever go to that other world of Silent Hill by choice, so the Medium's concept is more like Shadow's Awakening, but in different genre. The world of the game has been invented and designed under the inspiration of Zdzislaw Beksinski's paintings, as almost every horror game these days. So Beksinski was a Polish dystopian surrealist with a sad life story. He obviously wasn't a fan of airy fairy unicorn rainbows, but rather he saw a grim mirror of our reality and reflected his imagination on his disturbing but very cool paintings. Prehistoric Kingdom. The game is not just another Jurassic Park zoo manager. It's a bit different because it actually tries to show animals more scientifically accurate than Jurassic Park does, and also has not only dinosaurs but extinct animals as well, from saber-tooth tigers to woolly mammoths. Also, every animal grows from baby to adult, changing their proportions, sounds and behaviors in real time. You know, here baby animals are not just the copies of adult creatures but smaller, they're actually different. That is nice. They need to eat, drink, sleep and satisfy their social needs through behaviors like herding and socialization. So most of them will probably die under your control, but hey, these animals are imaginary. That's why you are allowed to play with them in the first place. The game also has first-person mode where you can feel like you are a visitor and explore your own zoo from a different perspective. Chill, relax, sit on a bench, watch your Spinosaurus eating a mammoth. You know, that is nice. The game has around 90% positive review score on Steam, so if you like games like that, it's a treat for you. Blair Witch. I never played the game myself because I expected it to be very scary, so I watched the entire playthrough on YouTube. I really love watching horror games being played by people with way bigger balls than I have. So what can I say? Blair Witch is not a very scary game. It is dark and psychologically challenging, but the level of horror isn't very high. I could probably play it without much struggle. The game itself is quite linear, so don't expect much action. All you'll do here is hold the W key. Sometimes relaxed and sometimes you will press way harder, depending on the situation of course. So basically it is a walking simulator with menacing and beautiful visuals. Anyway, the story starts in 1996. A young boy disappears in the forest, and you, a former police officer with a troubled past, join the search. What starts as an ordinary investigation soon turns into an endless nightmare as you confront your fears and the Blair Witch herself, a mysterious force that haunts the woods. Creepy but very fun. LA Noire. This is a violent crime thriller that blends action with true detective work. You will search for clues, chase down suspects and interrogate witnesses as you struggle to find the truth in a city where everyone has something to hide. And when you try to unearth the sinister secrets, there is a huge chance that someone will try to silence you for good. During Hollywood's golden age, you play as LAPD detective thrown headfirst into a city drowning in its own success. Corruption is rampant, the drug trade is exploding and murder rates are at an all-time high. So in your fight to climb the ranks and do what's right, you must unravel the truth behind a string of arson attacks, racketeering conspiracies and brutal murders. People on Steam are saying that civilian casualties are just a part of the job, and the game itself is like a noir GTA 5. In this real-time tactical adventure, you will embark on a journey across multiple continents during the Second World War. You will dispose of your enemies by using each team member's unique set of abilities and save the world in the process, or not. As you delve deeper into the sinister Nazi plot, you'll encounter occult scientific weapons and ancient Sumerian artifacts, able to shift the tides of the Second World War into a not-so-nice direction. You know, a grim future awaits you should the Nazis be victorious. So do your best to prevent that dark timeline from coming true. So because simple Nazis just lost the war in our timeline, here you will encounter something way more evil.
More evil than Nazis? You sure?
Good point. Not more evil, but more powerful. Heavily armed, mutated and supernaturally charged forces will be thrown against you and will put your strategic abilities and dexterity to the ultimate test. So if you like alternative history, stealth, adventure and Nazis, no, that sounds wrong. If you like alternative history, stealth, adventure and stories involving Nazis, the game is definitely for you. The Captain. This retro-inspired adventure game has around 90% positive reviews on Steam, so stay with me, that is not a very common thing. Here you are, the captain, and a space fleet science officer, lost on the other side of the galaxy. Very Star Trek-ish. Dark forces are en route to Earth to destroy our planet, and you are carrying the only thing that can stop them. Is that a magic bowl of potato salad? You will never know if you don't play. Anyway, you have to race back home across the galaxy. You like Earth intact. You know, here the best beer in the galaxy is being made, and also for some other not so important reasons. On your journey you will meet new friends and make new enemies, although you won't be able to save everyone, and only you will decide who will be left behind and which civilizations will you save or destroy along the way. The decisions are all up to you. You are awesome, but obviously have too much power. There is a protest happening somewhere against you in the galaxy, with purple-haired people cursing you, that's no doubt. No rest for the wicked. The game is still in early access, so it is kinda rough on the edges, but it is made by developers of Ori and the Blind Forest, so not by some rookies. So here the year is 841, and as word of the king's death echoes throughout the kingdom, the crown passes to his arrogant yet untested son. So there are some rebels wanting to cut his head off. The land is on the brink of civil war. That sucks, but it can always suck even more. So an unholy plague not seen for 1,000 years has returned as well. What a coincidence, right? So the plague sweeps across the land, corrupting everything and everyone it touches. In all this turmoil, you embark on an adventure. Well, on a task to be fair, because you are sworn to defeat the plague at any cost. Well, it's always better to be a warrior than a civilian in a war, so kudos for you. You got this. Or not. Knowing you, probably not. No offense. Hitman World of Assassination. This is probably the best Hitman experience possible nowadays. Here you'll visit more than 20 different locations, unlock new gear, travel a living and breathing world filled with intriguing characters and lethal opportunities. With this bundle you will get Hitman 3 game, with 6 DLCs, VR mode and access to all Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 missions. People on Steam are saying that this is an amazing experience, very sandboxish and will provide many hours of fun, although it has one big flaw. You know, every witness asked about,
Have you seen anything strange?
will tell you about a tall, bald man with a barcode tattoo. Most of the time the tattoo is visible for everyone. It's really dumb. Honestly, have you seen anything stranger this week? If yes, share in the comments. Spill your tea. Clash, Artifacts of Chaos. From the very first moment I saw the game, I instantly realized that I'm seeing something great, something far beyond the games I'm used to. The art style here is awesome and the game is great as well. I should probably start by saying that this is a story-rich, Souls-like RPG adventure game. You play as Sudo, a master of martial arts who lives as a recluse in the strange land of Xenozoic. When you cross paths with a small creature whose mysterious powers have attracted the attention of some evil lady, you decide to protect him, unaware that much greater forces are involved. But you don't care because you are awesome and everyone else just suck. They don't know that yet, so you are eager to bring wisdom. And by wisdom I mean bloodshed and broken bones. Your fists and speed are your greatest weapons. You will attack, dodge, stun, block or counter a parry to land a special attack. You can even switch to a first-person view to perform unique techniques. Each time it's up to you to seize the occasion to achieve a victory. If this is not a hidden gem in its truest sense, I don't know what is. If you like difficult and trippy games, this is a must. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version. So the remake is a great game on 2 occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it. In that case, I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. Serial Cleaner. Have you ever wanted to clean a crime scene? Yeah, I thought so, I'm not so eager as well. But this game lets us dive into this grim and, by the way, very well paid job. Maybe after playing you will reconsider your career choices. By the way, it's not some official job. Oh no, you work for the mafia and clean crime scenes for them. See, I said that this job is well paid. A good cleaner never gets caught, so you have to make sure you get in, clean up and get out without leaving a trace of evidence for the police to find. Game features a funky 70s inspired soundtrack, real-world data to modify levels according to the current time of day in your whereabouts, full story campaign and even challenge modes. People on Steam are saying that this is simple and chill game with very unique style, although be prepared to rage a little when you will get caught right before finishing the mission. Singularity. Here you'll be a witness of so-called Singularity event that fractured time and threatened the world as we know it. Some say it was the day when everyone forgot the potato salad recipe. That bent time and space, a real apocalypse happened. So here, armed with powerful advanced weaponry and the experimental time manipulation device, you'll fight enemies from the past, the present and the abominations caught in somewhere in between. With the help of this magical device, you will age enemies to dust in seconds, manipulate objects outside the laws of gravity and degrade things or renew them to their pristine form. You will be a real time bender here.
I control time and space.
Yeah, like that. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.